Your email marketing works. Kinda. You're sending campaigns, maybe you got a few flows going, and it feels like everything's fine. But here's the thing, almost every brand I audit is missing out on thousands of dollars a month. Not because they don't care, but just because they don't know where the gaps are. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the 7 most common revenue leaks I see inside of Klaviyo. I'm talking about stuff that actually costs you money. Bad welcome flows, weak pop-ups, abandoned carts that don't convert, and everything in between. I'll walk you through each one, show you real examples, and help you figure out exactly what you need to fix. Let's get into it before another subscriber opens your email, scrolls past it, and forgets you exist. Let's do it. All right. The 7 email marketing revenue leaks that are costing you thousands. Who am I? My name is Michael Fischbacher, co-founder of FluentSlow. I run an email marketing agency that's generated over 5.2 million email attributed revenue for clients. Here's my socials. Here's some case studies. I'll leave the link to this doc in the description if you want to check it out. Yeah, let's get into it. So, leak number 1, the welcome series structure. So I'm going to go through the checklist, and then each checklist will have a card. So, checklist number 1, do you have a good and clear offer? Number 2, does it build an emotional connection? This is more the welcome series itself, not just like the offer. Is the welcome series longer than 3 to 4 emails? And does your incentive expire? Or at least trick the customer into thinking it expires. Your welcome series is basically your brand's first date with customers, and just like dating, if your opening line is, hey, you want to buy stuff? Or, hey, you want to go back to my place? You're going home alone. So I have an example here for good and clear offer. So I have a good one and a bad one. So we'll break it down here. It's going to be a long video, so I'm going to try to keep it short. 20% off stands out. So the offer is unmissable. Lets them know this is on your first order only. There's a clear next step. You have a call to action, strategic design. The discount is in the hero of the email, and visual hierarchy. So your eyes go straight to the offer, and you're not playing hide and seek with it. So this is a great email. I think the call to action could be a little bigger personally, but other than that, great email. Now this one, not as good. The offer is not as good. It's not so clear. I'm not saying 10% off is a bad offer. I understand not everyone can, give 20% off because of their margins and stuff like that, but it's not as good as a 20% offer, obviously. 20% off offer, but it works. So I'm not saying the offer itself is bad. It's just kind of what they did here with the email is bad. So it's buried. It's way down here. Poor optimization. They have the brand story and stuff way up here instead of the offer. There's no urgency, which there's no urgency on this, but it seems like it's an afterthought. It's they came for the welcome gift and it's just buried in there. So, and there's not even a single call to action on this email. So this is what you want to avoid. So basically, double the discount plus prime placement equals more than double the conversions. So instead of 10%, do 20. You put the discount in a prime place, and you're going to get double the conversions. But like I said, not everyone can do 20. But your welcome email offer should be both valuable enough to act on and impossible to miss. This simplified approach focuses on both aspects you want to highlight. Okay. And does the welcome series build an emotional connection? So I have 2 examples here, one that builds an emotional connection and one that doesn't. An emotional connection is the heart of your welcome series. We'll break down these here. So this first one from Monkpack, it tells a personal founder story. It's got Michelle and Tobias. It establishes a relatable pain point. If you're reading this, you probably had trouble finding snacks that are portable, nutritious, and actually taste good. It shows the founders' faces, creating immediate human connection. It makes the customer part of the journey. Our story is just getting started, and now you're a part of it too. And then it conveys authentic passion. Nature-loving couple who couldn't find solutions, so they created their own. This is a great email. Probably placed 3rd or 4th in the welcome series. I'd probably do welcome and discount, bestsellers, and then email 3. You can throw in the story. And then the not as good one, product-focused instead of story-focused. It jumps straight into product without emotional foundation. Generic greeting. Let's get started. Hi, it's missing a founder connection. It's just signed Love Jen. I don't even know who Jen is. It's transaction-oriented, focuses quickly on shopping categories and subscriptions, and there's no why. It explains what they do, but not why they exist or the passion behind it. You're going to have multiple, 9 emails in the welcome series, so you don't need to be buy our shit. Just learn more, learn more about the brand. This is a great email to fill in the gaps. It's the difference between here's our stuff and here's why we care and you should too. When subscribers feel emotionally connected to your brand, they're 306% more likely to be a lifetime customer and 26% more likely to share your brand with others. Emotion drives loyalty beyond any discount. Is your welcome series longer than 3 to 4 emails? I have an example here of 9 emails versus 3 emails welcome flow. I call this the revenue maximizing approach and the bare minimum approach. You definitely don't want to be using the bare minimum approach. So this sequence guides subscribers through a complete journey from introduction to decision. Each email serves a strategic purpose, addressing different customer needs and objections at the right time. And I'm not going to break down each email. I did this in the previous email video, but I'll just scroll through. You can pause at any point and check it out. And then the bare minimum approach. It's a skeleton crew of emails that expects customers to make a purchasing decision with minimal information and touch points. It's like trying to close a sale after a 5-minute conversation, which is going to be impossible. So the more touch points you have, the more opportunities you have to make a sale. So that's why the revenue maximizing approach is way better. Incentive expiration. So even if your discount doesn't actually expire, you should at least trick the customer into thinking it does. That's marketing. So deadline equals decisions. A welcome discount with an expiration date is like permanent, or without an expiration date, it's like a permanent maybe from your subscribers. So these are 2 good examples. They're not comparing or anything. They're just 2 good examples. So, there's a deadline. It feels real and immediate. It triggers a strong emotional response. It's perfect for creating act now moments, and it literally shows time disappearing. It's got literally a countdown. It's got the offer, the code, what to do. It's super clear. This is a simple email, but it's perfect. This email uses powerful deadline language, like last chance, don't miss out, don't wait, time's almost up, get your discount now. It focuses on attention on the limited time offer. It creates clear urgency through the messaging, emphasizes the last chance psychology, and it drives immediate action through FOMO. You don't want to miss out on this offer. It's a good one. So both good examples there. And that's leak number 1. Leak number 2, the abandonment flows. Honestly, to even take this a step back, half the brands I ought to have an abandoned checkout and maybe an abandoned browse. That's it. So number 1 could be do you even have the abandonment flows? And if you are what the heck are the abandonment flows? All I have is a checkout. I don't know where I'm at, but I'll have the video come up here, my last video, and it breaks that stuff down. So, but the checklist here, are you using dynamic product blocks? Do you adjust common objections? Is there enough social proof? And have you tested stronger offers for VIPs? So, abandoned carts are the dates who ghosted you. With the right message, you might actually get them to come back. So let's get into dynamic product blocks. Basically, the main takeaway here is, are you using them? Are you showing the customer what they, abandoned? This email does a great example. It shows the product they abandoned. It includes the name of it, the quantity, the price. I don't always actually include that in my abandonment emails because that can technically be an objection. Maybe they remembered why they abandoned it. These shirts for $49. I don't spend more than $20 on shorts. So then they see that, they're I'm out of here. So maybe don't include the price. My business partner is a big advocate for not including price, but sometimes I do. That's something you can, if it's your brand, you can decide that. You can even test it. A/B test versus showing the price versus not. That'd be a great test. But anyway, this creates immediate product recognition and desire because that's their product they left, and it removes all the guesswork what they left behind. You're literally showing them, this is what you left behind. Versus this one, this has an icon. It's vague. Items in your cart. Doesn't say anything specific. The customer must have remembered what they were interested in. And it's missing the emotional reconnection with the actual product that they abandoned and left for dead. So it forces the customer to actually click to see what they left. Like I said, the Fabletics email reminds customers exactly what caught their eye. Well, the Bonobos, if I'm saying that right, I don't know, email makes them do the work of remembering. This small difference can be the deciding factor between a recovered sale and an abandoned cart that stays abandoned. Addressing objections. These 3 emails here do a great job of addressing objections. So this Hux email is backed by science, vegan and gluten-free, complete nutrition. This probably is great for some, the ideal customer that would be buying this. These are things they probably care about. Same with this one. This is a dirt bike gear brand, basically expert rider support, quality guaranteed, and fast New Zealand-wide delivery. That addresses the delivery objection, maybe it takes too long. Are the products genuine? This right there. what if I have questions? Like this answers that right there. Like you can just email them. And even down here, like free shipping, 1,000 plus happy customers, 100% authentic year. That helps too. And this one, this melody or medley, whatever the heck we got going on here, wine, 0 sugar, 100% organic, and eco-friendly packaging. Great, risk reversals. I don't know how they have one with 0 sugar. But yeah, great job of addressing objections and removing risk of buying. Let's collapse this. Social proof. Goes hand in hand with addressing objections. A lot of brands skip this or just bury it at the bottom, but the abandonment flow of social proof should be front and center. The whole point is to make shopper think, oh, people actually like this stuff. So here are 2 examples that do a great job. So we have this Little Beast and Rebel Rabbit emails. Abandoned cart email. Right below the call to action to go to checkout, it shows 3 reviews with the exact product they're reviewing. Adorable, beyond cute, so cute. If they think it's adorable, beyond cute, so cute, why wouldn't they? So it helps a lot. Same with this Rebel one. Right below the product they abandoned, it says, don't just take our word for it. Here's what fellow rebels are saying. And then it has the reviews, who they are, what they reviewed. Great for handling objections. If they're on the fence, it's showing that other real humans are saying this is worth it. And sometimes that's all it takes. So great to have in the abandonment flows. VIP offers. This one's a little more in the weeds here, but not all customers are created equal. So if your best customers are getting the same offer as someone who viewed your site one time, clicked on a product and abandoned it, that's not good. Because if someone who's ordered 5 times is getting the same offer as someone who's ordered 0 times, that's not good. So basically, you should be giving the VIPs a better offer, or at least testing it. Maybe it doesn't work for whatever reason. I really don't see that happening, but you should at least test it. So you're like, I don't know what would make a VIP. Well, this is what you can do. This is simple. You can filter by 2 easy ways to do it, or filter by minimum spend or amount of orders. Maybe you want a VIP to have spent $500 to be qualified. Then you can do that. You can just make a flow or a segment where the order amount is at least $500. Or this one, for this example, I did off orders. So for this brand, maybe they want VIPs to be 3+ orders. So you just do placed order at least 3 overall time. And there you go, 2,056 customers. And then now you want to be you want to build the flow. You want to say, okay, I want my VIPs to get this offer. I want the normies to get this offer. This are in a conditional split. This placed an order at least 3 times or whatever your criteria is. Then bam, your emails with a good offer here. Your emails with the not as good offer here. Super easy. But yeah, so if your regular customers get 10% off when they abandon their cart, maybe your VIP customers should get $15 off or $20 off or 20% off or a free gift. A message that acknowledges that they're not just a normal customer would be great too. The top 10% of your customers probably drive 30 to 50% of your revenue. If you're not treating them differently, you're missing out on the easiest money on the table. Segment smart, reward big, protect your whales. Leak 3, the post-purchase experience. Are you thanking customers genuinely? Do you have cross-sell recommendations? And is there a clear path to creating repeat buyers? Your post-purchase experience is where most brands act like the date who got what they wanted and now they won't return your text. We don't want that to happen. So genuine thanks. Most post-purchase emails jump straight into selling again. The good ones, they stop, they acknowledge the customer, and they mean it. A thank you email isn't a formality, it's your chance to build loyalty before the next pitch ever happens. So, I have 2 examples here of what they do right. So this one recognizes the repeat behavior, 3 orders. Our system shows you placed a total of 3 orders with us. And that's what we call a serious gardener. It highlights the mission behind the brand. You're not just buying soil, you're part of a movement. It speaks directly to the customer's identity. It has a friendly, real person sign off from the owner. And it doesn't push another sale. It's great. Another example, slightly different, positions the customer as part of the community. You're now part of something bigger. It ties the order to something bigger. 2% of your purchase goes directly to conservation, which is great. Emphasizes shared values, not products. Uses language that feels human and grounded, and ends with a subtle call to action, but doesn't push it. Also, the email here. Great examples. To make people feel good about their purchase, you just need to sound like a human. That's literally all you need to do. A good thank you email tells the customer they made the right choice, and a great one makes them make the right choice again. Next is cross-sell recommendations. The post-purchase window is one of the easiest times to increase average order value. They just bought, they're feeling good, and their wallet's already open. So here's an example of how to cross-sell the right way. So it uses It's like nonchalant. It's like a chill guy, like toss more in. That's very chill guy. It highlights items that logically go with the customer already ordered. It includes product images, prices, and ad buttons for convenience. Shop, ad. So they must have maybe already had this product in there. I don't know why it says shop for that one. These ones are just ad. But it even ties the message to a subscription box timeline. Like before we ship it, throw this shit in there quick. This email makes it feel like, you're already getting a great package, but you want to make it better. And then, it's smart, clear, and frictionless. It's a nice email. Good cross-sells are timely, relevant, and low effort. You're not pitching a whole new catalog. You're just saying, people like you also buy this, and it'll probably make your order better. All right, path to repeat purchase. So here we have the timeline of repeat purchase. Most brands think the job's done after the first sale, but if you're not guiding customers toward the second purchase, you're leaving a massive chunk of revenue on the table. The first purchase is the hardest to get. The second one is where they actually become a customer. So day one is 0 to 1. Thank them. Make them feel good about their decision. Don't sell yet. Just say thanks. If you skip this, scroll up. I just covered this. Day 3 to 5, build excitement. Highlight what they just bought. Show what other people are, or how other people are using it. And include social proof. Reignite that dopamine hit. Day 7 to 10, educate or entertain. Send something valuable. Maybe it's how to care for the product, use it better, and avoid common mistakes. If you're funny, be funny. If you're helpful, be helpful. Just don't ghost them. Don't disappear. I just move the camera. Oops. Day 12 to 15, suggest a next step. This is where cross-sells come in. So not everything belongs here, but just whatever makes sense as a follow-up can go here. And day 18, I guess maybe not for that last email I just showed you. That cross-sell is probably pretty early on, before they even ship. Or maybe they're on a subscription and they get that email like, hey, your subscription's ready, but do you want to throw anything else in? That could also work too for that email. But day 18 plus, give an offer. If they still haven't bought again, then you can introduce a discount or a VIP reward. Keep it targeted. The second purchase increases the customer's lifetime value by up to 130%. That stat alone should justify a whole flow dedicated to making it happen. You got the first yes, and now we need to earn the second one. All right, and that's leak 3. We're 20 minutes in. Leak 4, list building. Is your pop-up converting above 3.5%? Are you using a multi-step form? Do you have SMS collection? This isn't needed, but it helps. And are you testing different offers? Your list building strategy is the foundation of email marketing, and right now many of you have foundations that would make the 3 little pigs nervous. So, pop-up conversion rate. If your pop-up's converting under 3%, it's not a mystery. It's probably just bad. Let's look at 2 real examples that show the gap between collects emails all day and makes people want to close the tab immediately. Here are 2 examples, good versus bad. This one, you obviously got to take my word for it because I'm not showing you exactly when they display, but it triggers at the right time. It doesn't ambush the user immediately on the page load. Bold headline that immediately communicates the value. Offer is huge, centered, impossible to miss. There's one clear call to action button, and then there's some cheeky personality. No thanks, I'll pay full price. Obviously, no one wants to pay full price. Strong visual hierarchy. Images and CTA support the offer inside. The offer instead of fighting it, I can't read. I need some nootropics. No unnecessary form fields or clutter. It's direct, it's fast, looks nice, it converts. Everything you want to pop up, nothing you don't. This is animated as well. This is built on My Pop-Up Builder. Shameless plug, My Pop-Up Builder. Flashform.io. Here's a screenshot of that. And then the bad pop-up, Little Debbie here. Unfortunate, because Little Debbie makes some good oatmeal cream pies. The design feels outdated. It's just like a template from wherever. The layout is not that optimized. You got like a little bit of a picture, then you get the form over here. No excitement, no energy. You just unlock 10% off and a bunch of fine print. The call to action button looks like a terms of service agreement. This isn't just a low performing pop-up. It's the kind of thing that people ignore on instinct. When I see this, I just immediately click off. The offer might be decent, but the delivery kills it. So good pop-ups don't just ask, they sell. If you're not grabbing attention and making the next step obvious, you're not in the game. Big text, clear offer, no friction. That's the play. I gotta keep clicking this. Multi-step forms. If your pop-up is asking for email and phone number on the same step, you're doing it wrong. I still see people doing this to this day. Multi-step forms work way better every time. Why it works? Here's the psychology. Once someone gives you one piece of info, like their email, they're more likely to follow through with the second step, like their phone number. It's called the foot in the door technique. Or as my friend Henry calls it, emotionally invested. They're already emotionally invested. They've gave me their email. And if it's like, if you want to claim the offer, you got to put your phone number in, or you just wasted your time, you're like, you're already emotionally invested. Just throw that bad boy in there. You're lowering the barrier to entry on step one, then riding the momentum. So step one, headline, clear offer, a one field, just email, call to action, and then, continue, claim, whatever, next. Don't mention the phone number. You can even make this step two, actually, and you can do a micro commit before it, like I did in the example, which was like, do you want the 10% off? Then you hit yes, you're already emotionally invested, and then now you're on the email step. And then step two, the headline, maybe you're upselling it. Want SMS or want 20% off instead? Just unlock and then give them your phone number, CTA, unlock 20%. If they don't want that, you can just do like a subtle skip. No thanks. Why this performs better. Less drop off on step one, higher email conversion overall, more total phone numbers collected without scaring people away, cleaner design and better UX, and you still get your email list growing, even if they skip SMS. It's not like one or the other. If you're asking for everything up front, you're losing leads. Let people opt in one step at a time. Email first, then phone. That's how you win both. Offer testing. So most brands throw up one pop-up offer and call it a day. 10% off forever for everyone. But what if 10% off isn't even your best offer? What if free gift converts way better? You should be testing. You're not just testing the design, you should be testing the bait as well. Offers like free shipping, free gift with the purchase, mystery discount, maybe like a spin the wheel. Those are kind of lame in my opinion, but buy one, get one, the quiz access, early access to product drops, which I don't think that would convert better. But just an idea. Test different angles. Not everyone cares about the discount. Some people just want early access or something that feels exclusive. Bunch of weirdos, if you ask me. But how to structure a simple A/B test. So you split traffic 50-50 with two pop-ups. Keep in mind you'll need two different welcome series to do this. If you're testing two different offers, you'll need two different welcome series. Variant A, 10% off. Variant B, get free shipping. Then track the conversion rate, number of emails collected, revenue from each segment. And there you go. Let it run long enough to get meaningful data. Don't just let it do 24 hours and be like, oh, that one worked better. And yeah, take away the offer is what gets the email, not the color of the button. Don't assume you know what people want. Test, prove it, scale it. All right, and that was leak number 4. Leak 5, campaign strategy. So are you sending 3 to 5 times weekly? Is your content varied beyond promotions? Do you have strong strategy planning? And are your emails structured to maximize engagement? Most email campaign strategies have all the strategic planning of a toddler in a candy store. Let's fix that. Sending frequency. So most brands don't send enough emails, and they wonder why emails not driving much revenue. Here's the reality. More touch points equal more sales. So what we recommend, and honestly, this depends on revenue. If you're making $20K a month total online, probably don't send 3 campaigns. If you're making $100K a month, I'd say at least 3 campaigns. Like, it kind of depends on revenue. If you're, not making much money, not growing your list fast, and you're blasting campaigns, they're going to get annoyed. So you have to keep getting new leads all the time, make enough revenue. Then I would recommend sending more. But send 3 to 5 campaigns per week. It won't annoy people if the content's good, which kind of contradicts what I just said. But I mean, it's a fine line. Here's what usually happens. If you start sending more campaigns, your unsubscribe rate will probably go up a little bit. It can't be helped. But your open and click rates will hold steady and your revenue will go up. But I mean, if you're not making that much money, it's not worth all the extra time into doing all these emails. That's what I'm kind of getting at. You won't see the return. You're not forcing emails. You're showing up more often in the inbox that people already opted into. Why this works. People don't open every email. Promotions get buried fast. Timing matters, more chances to hit. You train the list to expect value from you. Most inboxes are noisy. If you're only whispering once a week, you'll never be heard. So takeaway. Send more than you think you should, and if it flops, guess what? That's data. No harm done. Content variety. If every email you send is 20% off ends tonight, your list is going to tune out fast. Even the best discounts get stale when that's all you're sending. So a balanced content mix looks like this. Here's a breakdown. Maybe 40% promotional, sales, product launches, limited time offers, 25% educational, product benefits, how-to tips, 20% community/storytelling, founder notes, behind the scenes, customer stories, 15% entertainment or value add, memes, seasonal fun, niche culture bits. Does every brand need this exact mix? No. But if you're only doing promotions, you're burning your list. I've seen it happen. Why variety works. It keeps engagement high. Not every email feels the same. Or it feels like a sale. It builds trust and brand loyalty, helps you stand out in the inbox, flooded with discounts, and it makes you more memorable. Your emails should feel like a brand people actually want to hear from, not just a cash register. My personal favorite emails are funny ones. If you send me an email that's funny, I look forward to the next one. There's a brand called Shithead Steve. I look forward to every email they send me. They're awesome. Sale emails make money. Other ones make people stick around. You need both of them. Strategic planning. Most brands treat email like a last minute thing. No plan, no calendar, just let's send something today. Well, good planning actually looks like a simple calendar showing what's going on or what's going out and when. Campaigns tied to product drops, seasonal events, or promos. Themes and angles mapped out in advance. Content balanced across the month, not just a sale every Friday. Whether it's Notion, ClickUp, Google Sheets, doesn't matter. Whatever you can use to track what's happening and know what's going on. Takeaway, email isn't a Hail Mary, it's a channel. Treat it like one. Email structure. Thought I had a visual in here. I guess I didn't put it in. If your emails are randomly stitched together with no structure, you're leaving clicks and cash on the table. Here's the actual layout that works because it's people read emails. I'm going to go over this. I'll have, actually right here, right now, I'll have my editor throw up a picture of what it should look like, but I'm going to break each section down. So the hero section, the first fold, it's the only part that most people will see, so you have to make it count. Header text or headline, it's clear, bold, and tied to the offer. Subheader, add context or urgency. It's not necessary, but it helps. Header image, or the hero image, it reinforces the offer visually, and a primary call to action right below the image or on the image. No scrolling required. If you don't hook them here, you won't hook them at all probably. On the body section, now you've earned the scroll. If they didn't click, but they want to learn more, short, one main point, break it up. For the body copy, primary call or secondary call to action. For people who need a more convincing, optional add-ins, social proof, testimonials, product highlights. All depends on the campaign you're sending or the email you're sending. But anyway, this is where you build on the offer, not introduce a new one. And then the footer, just the basics, company info, unsubscribe, preference links, little brand flavor if you wanted, navigation stuff. Takeaway, the first fold gets to open, structure gets to click. Don't just send emails, build them to be scanned, clicked, and acted on. Direct response copy. That's great. Yeah, that's leak 5. Leak 6. Are your open rates above 45%? I didn't even say what it was. Deliverability. Are your open rates above 45%? Do you have a branded sending domain set up? And are you regularly cleaning your list? Deliverability is unsexy plumbing of email marketing. Nobody wants to talk about it until there's a mess all over the floor. So, open rates. You can write the best emails in the world, but if no one sees them, it doesn't even matter. Open rates tell you if your deliverability is healthy, and no, it's not just about subject lines. So, where you want to be, 45% plus open rate. You're in great shape. 30 to 44, you're probably fine, but there's room to tighten things up. Below 30, you got issues. Might be list quality, sending reputation, setting practices. Below 20%, you're in the danger zone. If your numbers are low, fixing them is way more important than sending in their promo tomorrow. What to check if it's low? Are you sending to unengaged people? Is your domain authenticated? Are your subject lines actually good? Or are they just clever to you? And are you warming up new segments too aggressively? Open rates are your inbox's health check. If they're tanking, you're cooked. So, branding sending domain. If you're still sending from an @Gmail email address, info@yourbrand.shopify.com or vShared Klaviyo mail, you've already lost. I just talked to a brand the other day who is still not sending from a branded sending domain, which is crazy. Branded domains matter. They boost trust, they boost deliverability, and they look legit, especially in the eyes of the inbox provider. So, how it actually shows up, you can see the difference. This is from a brand with a branded sending domain. This is what it looks like. And this is from a brand that doesn't even have a branded sending domain set up. It says via shared Klaviyo mail. So if yours says that, you're in trouble. What you need to set it up, you're going to need DNS access. That means someone on your team is going to need to update the SPF, DKIM, and the DMARC records. It's not hard, but if you don't do it, don't be surprised when Gmail buries your next campaign, the promo graveyard, or even throws it in spam. This is what it looks like if your domain is set up. This is what it looks like. This is in Klaviyo, obviously, if it isn't set up. Bottom line, if you want to look like a real brand and land in real inboxes, get your sender domain squared away. This is definitely not optional. List cleaning. Nobody likes doing it, but keeping your list clean is what keeps your email program alive. So when your list is full of people who don't open, inbox providers stop taking you seriously. Even the people who do want to hear from you might stop seeing your emails. So what would you recommend? Every month or two, send a plain text email from the founder to people who haven't engaged in a while. Not some desperate, are you still interested message, just something that feels personal. It could be a quick note about what's going on with the brand, new launch, story, a thank you, something that feels like it was typed out that morning and just sent to them. The goal isn't to beg them to stay, but to remind them why they liked you in the first place and maybe get them to click back on the site. If they engage, then they stay. They're now, an engaged customer. If they don't, then they're probably not interested. And there's a side note here. If you have a Sunset and Engage flow set up, which you should, anyone who's been through the flow, I don't even try to re-engage. I just suppress them. Just a side note here. But how often should you clean your list? Suppress clearly disengaged people maybe once, twice a month. Send a plain text, check in every 60 to 90 days, and immediately suppress bounces, unsubscribe, spam complaints, which Klaviyo does this automatically. So that's nice. And that'll keep your list clean. On to the last leak, not testing and optimizing. So are you running regular A/B tests? Do you test send times and frequencies? Are you reviewing performance weekly? And actually, I don't know why that's in there. Ignore that. And is your testing focused on revenue metrics? So if you're not testing, you're basically just guessing. And I have the Vegas stat to prove that guessing is an expensive hobby. So don't do it. A/B testing. Most brands don't test enough, or they test once, call it a win, and never touch it again. The truth is, testing should be baked into everything you send. What you can test and what you should test. And it's not just subject lines and call to actions. You can test about every element of your emails across both campaigns and flows. So there's subject lines, preview text, send times, short form versus long form, entire product category versus single product highlights, graphic heavy designs versus plain text versus stripped down layouts, offer placement, educational angle versus straight promo, flow delays. Every brand is different, and the only way to know is to test and find what works. So baseline strategy, at a minimum, subject line testing should be running constantly. I always preach that the first email in every flow should have an A/B test going on the subject lines and preview text. It's what's going to get the most volume and the most upside. So in campaigns, just testing preview text or send time can make a meaningful difference. Over time, those 2 to 5% lifts, they'll add up fast. They'll really affect distributed revenue. What not to do? Test 5 things at once. You won't know what made the difference. Don't over-optimize for open rate if click rate and revenue fall off. And don't forget to implement what actually worked. I like to keep a Notion page for each client and document tests and what worked, and so we can act on it and make changes and not do what didn't work. Takeaway. Testing is how you learn what your list actually responds to. It's not extra work. It's literally just part of the process. Stop guessing and start getting better. Send time testing. There's no magic send time that works for every list. The best way is to test and find your ideal timing. So what to test? Morning versus evening, weekdays versus weekends, high volume times versus quieter windows, specific days for campaigns, frequency, sending X amount of times per week, all sorts of stuff. Even small timing shifts can double or tank your results, especially when inboxes are packed during peak seasons. What we've seen work. There's no universal answer, but there are a few trends to watch for. Flows. Test when the emails actually land. The time delay. Campaigns. Test weekends versus weekdays, especially for high intent segments. SMS timing. Same idea. Morning SMS versus evening SMS can drive very different clicks. The key is to watching patterns over time and not getting emotional about one bad send. Takeaway. Your audience has habits. Just figure out what the habits are and show up when they're most likely to care. Timing isn't everything, but it's a lot more important than most people think. Revenue focus. Open rates are cool, but revenue is cooler. If your tests are only optimizing for opens or clicks, you're missing the point. What you should be measuring. Every test should lead back to one question. Did this make us more money? That means tracking. Why did that supposed to be down there? That means tracking revenue per recipient, place order rate, total revenue generated, and conversion rate after the click. You might find that a subject line with 50% open rate barely converted, while a less exciting version with 28% opens drove the most sales. Where this matters the most, campaigns, especially promos and product drops, you're sending to sell, not just to be clever. Flow emails. Test which version of the abandoned email gets people actually check out, not just open the email and bounce. Don't just test which one people click on, test which one gets them to buy. It's easy to get addicted to high open rates, but if the numbers look good and revenue's flat, you're not optimizing, you're just decorating. So the takeaway here is clicks don't pay the bills, revenue does. Keep that in mind when you test, stop wasting time on things that don't move the needle. So you've made it to the end. Congratulations, that was a long ass video. All right, those are the 7 revenue leaks. If you saw even 2 or 3 that made you go, oh, that's me, then hey, at least you know what to fix. If you made it this far, congrats. You're officially more committed than 90% of the people in your niche. And if you want help fixing it, there's a link on the next slide here where you can book a call with my team. That link actually in the description, all the doc in the description. As always, I appreciate you watching. The minions say congrats, and I say, let's go make your email not suck.